Guys, my name is Kern and I post home recording weekly. Guys, we're looking at the brand new bias effects. This is something I am rather familiar with as I have had a version of this on my iPhone for a very long time. Now, I have a few different amp sim guitar amp things on my iPhone, and this is the one that I used time and time again. I stopped using all of the others because there's so many different fantastic amps and features in the Jam Up Bias iPhone app. The other one was all kind of Fender amps, and I just didn't use it. Even the looper in Bias was so much better, and the tuner and all of it. So when it came out for my desktop, I was just floored. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. And now the time has come. I'm going to take you through what the features are really quick that I've found that I use and like. And then, like I did with all of the other amp sims a long time ago, we're going to go through a lot of these amps and pedals and microphones and just take our time. So it's going to be a long video. If you're thinking about buying this and you want to hear it, or you want to compare this to a lot of the others, then, well, this video is for you. It's going to be a long video, so maybe you should go and get some kind of caffeinated beverage and just sit back and relax and watch me as I kind of just play my Fender guitar through a bunch of these amps and a bunch of these pedals. So as I promised, I want to show you some of the features real quick. Up here, if you see, I have it on single path, but you can actually have dual. And on dual, you have 2 amps, a splitter, and a mixer. So you guys that like to run 2 different kinds of amps, you can definitely do that. I want to put it in single for today, just so that we can go through and hear what each amp is doing. If you want to add effects or change the effects, you just click on this button and you have noise gates, you have compressors, boosts, drives, EQs, modulations like tremolos and choruses and things, delays, and reverbs. So this is the pack, or you will see everything that came with the bare bones version as I understand it. I got a review copy, and that's exactly what I intend to do. There's a cool little slide bar up here, if you can see, that lets you make sure everything in your chain is on that you want on or whatever. And then also, that was the head version. This is the cab version. You can take your microphone and you can move it around in 3-dimensional space. You can bring it closer to or further away. And I believe there's a few different microphones up for us to choose. I can choose a 57 or a C414. So I'm going to keep it on the SM57, and you have a volume level over here. And you can have different cabs as well. There's a bunch of different cabs. I think for this video, I'm just going to keep it on the matching cabs and let it choose what cab I should use or not use. It sounds good the way that I'm doing it here. Just using a 57 on a cab. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to literally open up a bunch of amps and try some pedals in there just to show you some different options to give you a good understanding and a good idea of what bias effects for the desktop from Positive Grid is all about. And if it's any indication, I've already fallen completely in love with this. The tones are amazing. As you're about to see, everything works flawlessly and sounds fantastic. All right, we're already 4 minutes in. I'm going to mute my microphone and I'm just going to start playing. This is a 67 Blackface. It is like a Fender amp. That makes such a difference. I might just leave that off, and I'll toggle it on and off as we go. It did change the tone a lot, and I want this to be as genuine as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and find another amp, and let me take you through as I do that. You just double click on the amp. Da, 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 and it takes you to the amp section. Guys, these are all of the low gains. We have let's see, we have the blackface, we have a duo verb, a silvertone, I'm sorry. Let me just take you through some of these. A silvertone, a tweed deluxe, a matchless, and I'm not getting into brand names or anything. This is a match DC. I assume it's a matchless, an AC boost. I mean, come on, that's probably a Vox. We have a Dr. Z, a clean master, and a supersonic, which is kind of cool. I mean, if that's anything like the Fender Supersonic. For crunch amps, we have some orange, we have some British Marshalls here, modded Plexi, a pushed tweed, and a Laney 50. And for high gain, oh boy, we have Insane Satan, modded Mark II-C, the Ecstasy. I mean, that's probably a Bogner, and that's probably, Paul Reed Smith or Mark, yeah. We have a tread plate, which is probably like you guys can figure these out. A Snake Lead 800, a high gain EL34, and an Insane 5153. And then we also have acoustic amps, and that's kind of interesting. I'm not going to get my acoustic guitar out for this video, but that's pretty cool to have 3 acoustic amps, right? That's interesting. And then we have bass amps. If you guys are playing bass into your DAWs, then this is fantastic, guys. This just opens up a world of bass tones and effects and cabs and microphones, and how cool is that? And then bias amps, there's none here, but that doesn't mean anything. You can probably upgrade and buy some in the future. This is a lot of amps, you guys, when you buy this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, let's talk. We're probably talking 35, 40 amps here, you guys. That's a lot. And then I didn't mention down here, there's an input, a noise gate, there's a tuner right here for you guys. You can save your output settings. There's output settings on and off, and an output volume, and you guys can save all your settings. And the way the effects are working here can be kind of confusing. These ones here are before the amp. These here are after the amp. And what's cool is you can switch to a pedal board view. Look at that. You got your head over here and you got all your pedals. Maybe this is the way we'll do it for the rest of it, because it makes more sense, doesn't it? I can just turn pedals on and you guys can watch what I'm doing with the amp. So let me go back to regular view and get this amp set up a little bit. I want to turn it up just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead to pedal board view for the rest of this, and then let's get rocking. Okay, let's try one more clean and then we will. All right, you know what? We're going to try a couple. I can't help myself. There's a matchless and there's a Vox. We'll try those and then maybe the supersonic too. And then we'll get into some crunch, okay? All right, I have it back in pedal board, and you know what? I'm going to start with the 57, and then in a minute I'll change it over to the C414 just to see what it sounds like. So here we go. Let's just plug this on, and we'll go. And what you just saw was if you want to change the settings, you just click on the pedal and it makes it so much bigger and it just makes life easy. And then you click back on the pedal board and that goes back down. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. I'm going to turn my mic off now. Okay, you've heard that. Quickly, I want to go through and check out another amp. So let's see if I have to go back to pedal board or not. I do. I have to go back to pedal board, then double click on the amp. And then we will, all right, we'll do the 66 AC boost. I believe it's a Vox. We will check it out. Boom. You know, it looks like a Vox AC15 to me, or AC30. Gain, bass, middle, treble. Let's give that a shot, okay? I really like how that's breaking up already. I'm going to go to the pedal board and turn off the reverb here. I forgot I left that on. The overdrive is on. That would explain the breakup. All right, I'm going to turn my mic off. Well, that's what a Vox sounds like clean, but I mean, we all like to push them like into that overdrives area, right? So let's turn the gain up a little bit. I'm going to turn this overdrive off. We'll turn the gain up and see what it sounds like, and then we will turn the overdrive on and push it just a little more. I don't need to tell you, but that sounds fantastic once you kick on that boost in front of the amp like that. Well, that was really delicious. That was really nice. The AC boost with that drive in front of it. It's, authentic. I really was the compressor on the whole time, probably. I'm sorry about that. Let's try some different compressions. Let's try an opto compressor. And for our drive pedal, why don't we go with, I don't know. You know what? Tube screamer, right? We got to have America's favorite drive pedal in front, and let's turn this opto off. And then we will try a different amp together. I want to try the supersonic. My friend has one, a real supersonic. He gigs with it, and I've always wanted one just because he's got one, and I get jealous and gear syndrome. So our GAS, as it's known. So let's we will try a few settings with this, and then I'll quickly get into the crunch territory. We did change microphones, and I'll change back to that 57 here sometime. So let's keep going. Gosh, we're 20 minutes in already. I am sorry about that little run there. I just had to hear what the neck pickup with the tube screamer and this thing sounded like. And I'm going to try to bring in a little bit of delay here if I can find it. So why don't I pause it and do that? You know what? I might as well show you guys what I did. I mean, I did it and I'm like, well, I should show them how I did that. You go down to delay and you got one here, you know, the old Echo Plex. You got all these really cool delays. I'm just going to grab one. This delay here for whatever reason, and you can put it wherever you want. If you want it before the modulation, after the modulation, if you want it before the amp, you drag it over here. It's that easy, and then I'm done. All right, please allow me to add a few of the features here because this is for DAWs, digital audio workstations. This thing is awesome, this delay. You can have it in analog, digital or anywhere in between the two. I chose analog, and you can slap it into BPM mode, and instantly it syncs with whatever you're working on. That is a very cool feature. I'm learning as I go, and all these things are really jumping out at me, and they're very cool. So this is a cool delay. Let's check it out. Yeah, I just think that was pretty cool. Okay, let's get into crunch territory here. We'll do it together. We'll go down and double click on the amp. Crunch. OR30 or a 50. Let's start with an OR30, and then we can get into Plexiville and all that stuff here in just a minute. And what I'm going to do is I am going to toggle the drive off first and get to know the amp a little bit, and then I'll bring in the drive. I'm sorry. Okay, this is the OR30, and then I'm going to bring in the drive pedal a little bit and see what we have. Now, let me say I am well pleased with how this thing sounds, and I'm going to cut my mic. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the tube screamer and see what we get. Tell me that's not like the most famous sound on earth, right? All right, this is the modded Plexi part of the tour of Bias Effects. Who doesn't like a modded Plexi, right? They say that these amps are capable of that one magic sound, but I don't know. I think these things sound killer no matter what you're doing. Let's check it out by itself, and then I have a little something I want to bring in, and it is the Tube Screamer, of course. So let's see what this thing sounds like, okay? Okay, kind of messed that up, but you get the idea. Let's do some more tones here, and I'll turn my mic off. All right, let's continue on Crunchville here, just to see what we can find. Crunch, I'll try one more. Let's try the Laney. I've always liked what I've heard with them, and this is probably no different. Let me dial in my tone setting that I like, and I will unpause this. Much as I thought, it didn't take much. I literally opened this thing up and turned the treble up just a touch, maybe the gain, and we were right where we wanted to be. I'm going to try a different mic just because I can and see what that sounds like, and then I will bring in the 57 after. Here we go. I should add that this is a guitar that has 3 pickups, kind of like a Telecaster, and I've been playing with both of them. So let me go ahead and put on the rear pickup so you guys can get an idea, and then I'll do both, and then I'll do the neck after. So rear pickup only, then both pickups, and then neck pickup. So I'm going to do rear pickup only for the rest of this, just because it's less acoustic-like. All right, I think you guys get the idea. That is the Laney, whatever. Let's find another one. Why don't we go out of crunch into high gain, just because we can. And I'm going to try a few of these. We'll start with the modded Mark II. Now, if this is like the Mark IIs and 3s and 4s, then yeah, it is. Which is cool. I mean, these are awesome. You should be able to get everything from beautiful cleans to awesome, hot, rectified dirties. So let's try it out. Guys, this is right out of the box. I mean, I opened this up and it sounds awesome. It sounds just incredible. I want to put just a touch of verb on it and see what we get. There's just a lot of amazing sounds you can get out of this stuff so easily too. If I had to compare this with other amp and cab sims that are out there right now, I'd have to say there's no comparison. Just from the amazing selection and the great sounds of all of them. Now, I'm going to turn the treble up. You know what? I'm going to leave the treble right where it was. And I'm just going to turn it up and see what it sounds like. Maybe the treble up just a little bit. I don't know why I like that, but I do. And simply because if I didn't try the 5153, I think I'd get a lot of bad comments. Let's try it out. And from here, I think I'll close because, like I said, I'm not going to bring an acoustic. Maybe I'll do a review of the bass amps in another video at a later time. But right now, we'll do this 5153, this Fender amp here, kind of sim. And then I'm going to close out shop. We're running almost 40 minutes here, and that's a lot for a demo video. And let me leave you with one thought. Here is the most insane amp I found. And now I just want to leave you with the first one that we tried. And then I will let you get on with your day and I will stop making a video demo. But here is the other one, back pickup. Both pickups. So we came a long way today. We tried out a bunch of cool pedals. There's so many pedals to choose from, guys. If you're looking for a particular sound or a tone, I'm sure it's in here. And with all of the different options and customizations, you guys, I went for 40 minutes and we barely scratched the surface. We barely tried anything, and there's so much more to offer. This is Bias Effects Desktop from Positive Grid, the makers of the Jam Up and the Positive Grid for iPhone, the most superior guitar tones that I found for practicing, for playing out, for making your recordings, guys. This is one awesome piece of software, and I can't find a negative with it. The tones were amazing. They're very like the original. However you want to say that. I loved it. I love how it's set up like a pedal board. That just makes my life easy because that's how in real life I do things. Again, no flaws here. I love it. I like all of the customizations, and there's a tuner. Job well done to Positive Grid. I give this thing 2 thumbs up. If I could hold my guitar pick and do 2 thumbs up, I would. I'm just well pleased with it, and I can't say enough about it. If you made it to the end, thanks. It's been 41, almost 42 minutes. Again, my name is Kern, and I post homerecordingweekly.com. There's all kinds of free stuff over there, tons of videos and reviews. Especially if you're into mixing. I review a lot of mixing training over there that people can buy, and I tell you exactly what you can expect. I have free ebooks over there to make your own acoustic room treatment. I have one on microphones and stereo microphone techniques coming up in just a little bit, and it's going to be absolutely free as well. Just drop your email in there and you can have it. All right, I'm going to stop rambling now. Thanks for your time.